Okay. So, I had to talk about this. I just watched Love is Blind season 2 episode 1, and I had thoughts, I have feelings. So I quickly hopped into the shower. You're getting me fresh out the shower. This isn't even a new cup of tea. I just topped up my breakfast tea, slapped on some makeup, and here we are. Hello, I'm autistic, I drink tea, and on Autistic Tea, the YouTube channel, which you are currently watching, we talk about things, and today we'll be talking about Love is Blind, season 2, episode 1. So I am just going off my memory because I wanted to hop to the episode on my laptop, but the Netflix on my laptop is different to the Netflix on my phone. I don't know why. I don't understand. But I only have season 1 on my laptop, and I've got season 2 on my phone, but I only have my phone to film on, so we're going off memory here. And it's all very raw, it's very real, unlike Love is Blind, which is a reality show, and as we all know, reality shows are not reality. That's not why people watch them. And actually, I don't normally watch reality TV. I had one exception, which was Yummy Mummies on Netflix. Oof, that was my trash. I loved Yummy Mummies. They were atrocious. I loved it. But I don't normally like watching dating shows because I don't get it. I don't understand the premise. I don't understand the appeal. I generally don't like the people that much. And I just don't understand it. I don't see how you could possibly, like with The Bachelor, you're seeing all these different people at once and they're all hanging out together and talking about their relationship with one person. And it's not like a polyamory, we're all getting on, this is all okay. It's like a competition for one person's love, and the rest of us have to pretend to be friends while we do that? That's weird. But I watched Jarvis Johnson's video on season 1 of Love is Blind, and when I saw season 2 was out, I was intrigued. I was interested. Because that sort of thing, like not going off appearances, I love that. I love that sort of thing. There was this TV show I did used to watch with my mum, and it was like they met in a dark room, so it was perfectly dark, and you know, you chat and then you decide whether or not you wanted to go on a date. So it was just like a one date, and then you wanted to see if you wanted to pursue it a bit more, I think. And genuinely, people would see the other person and be like, oh, actually, you're too fat, I don't want to date you. And it was like, oh my god, you're a terrible person. But it was real. Like, at least, like, people are genuinely terrible in real life. let's be real. People are shallow and gross. But the whole conceit of Love is Blind, so these people are coming in, and then Nick Lachey, oh, it's because my hair is wet. So Nick Lachey and his wife, Mrs. Lachey. I check, but it's not on my, oh wait, I could watch season 1. You know what? I don't care enough. So they go in, they talk about how the experiment is proven from season 1, the experiment. And then they explain that you have 10 days, I think it was, 10 days. So, boop, boop, to choose someone to propose to. So this isn't about falling in love. This is about picking someone to get married to, which are very different things in my opinion. Because falling in love should not be that quick. I think that you can fall in affection, you can create a real connection in a short period of time. Certainly there's friendships that can be connected in that time, and then you work on that friendship, you know. There's the initial compatibility, which I definitely get after my first date with my partner, my current beloved fiancé. I immediately knew there was a connection between us. I had deep affection for him. And by our third date, I decided I wanted a bit of a snog, so I went in for the kiss, and he was A-okay with that, so, you know. But I wouldn't say I was in love then. I certainly wasn't in love after 10 days, 2 weeks, even a few months, you know. You love, like, deep love, whether it's romantic or not, does take a while. You know, there's that affection you can feel straight away, and you know, I've got a general love of humanity and my fellow human beings, so, you know, there's always that. But, like, wanting to spend the rest of your life with someone, love, you're not going to find that after 10 days. I don't care how intensely you feel, I don't care how much you cry after the proposal, it's not love. Here I am, the arbiter of other people's emotions. I have decreed that you're not in love, okay? So, there's that. First of all, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, they have to propose after 10 days. I wouldn't even know if I wanted to keep dating someone after 10 days. And then they say that the guys, like, the girls just have to sit there and wait for the guys to propose. So the girls can't even propose, which is so ass backwards. I was like, what year is it? Is this not the year of our Lord 2022? Is this not the time when maybe we shouldn't be so strict about, you know, and then the man gets down on one knee and he says, will you honor and obey me for the rest of my life, because generally men have a shorter life expectancy. And the woman goes, oh, finally someone to whom I can serve. It's like, really, honestly, is that where we're at? But I guess they need rules in place, otherwise you'd have, like, women every which way, proposals every which way happening. But it seems stupid. It seems stupid to take away the women's agency in this regard. Then the pods are open, and that's part of why I wanted to watch this, is because there's that whole sci-fi element of them being in these little cages. I mean, they're quite comfortable cages, but it's still, like, it's a little room, it's a little boxed room with a wall, and they talk through the wall. And immediately I was like, okay, so Jarrett's gonna be the heartthrob. Jarrett's the one everyone's gonna want to fall in love with.
The one thing that matters to me above all is just having real, pure love. Like, I want someone who's gonna be by my side through thick and thin, and that's why I'm here.
And maybe that's my bias showing, but to me, he has, like, just such a genuine personality. He seems really warm and comfortable with himself. In a way that a lot of the others simply do not. Even the ones who have that, like, aggressive confidence, they don't seem comfortable, you know? A lot of aggressive confidence comes from a deep insecurity. That's the vibe I'm getting from a lot of these people. So Jarrett has, and he also has, like, kind of a sexy voice to me. It's, like, deep and it wasn't velvety, but it was, like, smooth. And maybe that's just because my partner has a deep voice. His voice is certainly not velvety or smooth, I would say, but it's certainly kind of deep. He's a bit of a mumbler, so generally our conversations are me like, and he's like, and then he'll say something really funny, and then I'll come out with my cackle. So Jarrett, I thought, was going to be, like, the heartthrob that everyone was fighting over, but it turned out to be this guy called Shane and another one called Nick, I think. So Nick,
I think your partner needs to be your best friend.
Seems like a nice person, I think. He seems generally down to earth. He, like, sits on the floor rather than the couch. Maybe that's just more comfortable to him, but I kind of liked that. And he made a real connection with...
Is it Holly or Molly? Is the girl's name Holly or Molly?
Danielle?
Danielle.
No, I think it's Holly. Yeah, it's Holly.
Danielle. He made a real connection with Danielle. And Danielle's very, very insecure.
So scared. I was like, what if I come in here and everyone's like, wow, that girl has such an unattractive voice and that's all I have right now. I'm scared that every other date that you have is gonna go better than ours.
And they seem to have a really genuine connection, but Danielle has she has a lot of insecurities. She used to be overweight, and she is not currently, and but she still doesn't value herself. She doesn't see herself as someone worthy of respect, even let alone love. So, but she really trusts Nick, and she's really feels safe with him, and he really seems to like have that space there open for her. And I think there could be a real mutual connection. They do seem to have a really genuine affection for each other. And, you know, when he proposed, there was lots of tears and there was lots of I love yous, which again, my opinion is they're not in love. But I hope that working on that relationship, working on being together, really ends up with a positive relationship, because I do believe that you can make a connection with someone, and what you do after this determines really whether or not you're going to fall in love and have a continuous relationship. It's not necessarily the first connection, it's the effort you both put into it afterwards. And I think they're both willing to do that, as long as, again, I feel Danielle needs to do some inner work, maybe go to a therapist, or find something so that she feels that security and comfortableness in herself and isn't just relying on Nick to give her that, because that never ends well. You can't rely on one person to validate you all the time, and it's also no way to live, having, you know, been really insecure. It's not a nice way to live, and she seems like a nice person and I want her to be happy. So, but there was a little bit of drama, of course, around Nick and Danielle, because Nick was also early on making a connection with this other girl who I cannot remember the name of.
Is it Holly or Molly? Is the girl's name Holly or Molly?
Really hard for me to really understand why a girl like me doesn't have a boyfriend or a hookup. I don't think she's that much of a competition compared to me.
He don't get to see you.
I think he knows. I think he can tell.
I think there was prompting. I think there was editing choices. I mean, they're clearly trying to make her the bad girl. They literally put this music behind her that's like, trouble, I'm a troublemaker, behind her. So they're clearly like, this one's the naughty one, this girl's the bad girl. But she does straight up say that she doesn't think Danielle is any competition. And clearly she's prompted because they're like, what do you mean he can't see you? And she pauses for a minute and then says, I think he can tell. So it seems that she thinks that, like, she's hot stuff. And she clearly, I feel there's a deep insecurity there, because she was so overt about, all the guys are interested in me, you're so excited to talk to me, I think definitely he likes me, I'm amazing, and women feel insecure around me just because I'm so good at working out. And it's like, I think maybe if you're getting the vibe that other women don't like being around you, it could be because you're very judgmental and self-centered, and mean. Like, she was like, I feel like she's the kind of person who'd just straight up tell you you're not that attractive. But, like, there's someone for everyone, you know? Like, ugh. But, you know, again, I don't know who she is. She's probably being misrepresented by the show or playing a role for the show. So, but anyway, so it didn't actually, they seemed to set it up like she'd make a big stink about it when Danielle and Nick got together, but she didn't. Nothing came of that. She just, I don't know. So that was fine. By the end of this episode, we get a proposal, and they're going to go see each other, and we don't know about the reveal yet. But, like, obviously the reveal is going to be fine, because another thing about this show, if I manage to put clips in this, is something you'll notice is they're all very attractive people. Like, not one uggo amongst them. There's Shane, who scares me.
I need to be in front of people. I need to feed off their energy.
He has crazy eyes, and is huge. And also always kind of has his mouth open, like, close your mouth, sir, you're gonna catch flies. Not, and I don't feel bad being mean about him, because it turns out later he's a bit of a duck. So, but initially I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, okay, personally, I didn't find him attractive. I could see why he's generally considered attractive, but straight away I was like, which is terrible and very shallow of me. I'll admit it. And he has a very weird laugh. And I say that I really feel affection for people with weird laughs, because I myself don't laugh so much as I cackle. To the point where when I'm editing these videos, I have to go in and decrease the volume at least 50% on my laughs, because they spike in loudness so much. And I'm afraid to cause permanent ear damage to anyone who might be using headphones. So like, that's one of them. That's one that I will make quieter because it's so... And I imagine some people find my laugh annoying. Not anyone I particularly care about, not my friends, and certainly not my partner. But like, I was made to work in a haunted house, you know? So when I say he has a weird laugh, I say that with great affection. I love me a good weird laugh, solidarity. There was someone else there who had a weird laugh. Weird laugh solidarity. So there is Shayna, Shane, and Natalie. And Natalie is a very quiet, down-to-earth person. She feels the reason she's in Love is Blind is because she is sick of the racist stereotypes people come to relationships, come to dates with. For her, a lot of them have like expectations of what an Asian woman will act like, and I get that. Honestly, I was concerned when I first went on my date with my partner, because he is Chinese, he's from Malaysia, and I did wonder if perhaps there would be some cultural expectations from his side, and maybe he wouldn't be so into me. I am very loud, I am very stubborn. And I'm like woof after things that I want. So I'm very, you know, self-determined and things like that. And I wondered if perhaps he might not like that, which was racist of me. I mean, I'm going to admit that. I'm not going to pretend that I'm not racist. I wasn't raised in a racist society. That was racist of me. I had racist assumptions, and I was wrong. I was wrong about him. He loves all these things about me. And having met his mother and seeing the relationship between his mother and his mom and his dad, I get it. I mean, he's basically just married a whiter, slightly louder version of his mother, to be honest. Like, not to call him out on the internet, but like, his parents have a very similar relationship to me and him, and his dad adores his mum. You can just see it on his face. Absolute adoration. But anyway, so Natalie is very down to earth, and Shane seems to like that. He likes the intimacy of the conversations that they have, you know, very emotional, very open and things like that. But he also likes Shayna, and Shayna she's kind of out there. She's kind of sweet. I think I can't tell if she's deeper than she looks. Like, she comes across as a little bit shallow, but I think there may be more under the surface, but it's only the first episode, so I don't know. But like, there's a lot of flirtiness going on between Shane and Shayna. There's like, he'll come in and immediately be like, what are you wearing? And she tells him what she's wearing, and they talk about, you know, what sort of sex stuff they like and how often. So their conversation is less deep, emotional, meaningful, less long-term relationship building, and more sort of what can we get right now in the moment. Very short-term sort of stuff. And if that's what you're looking for, I mean, if you're looking for a hookup, I'm not saying that that's bad, but this is probably not the show for you. But again, maybe it is because you've only got to do 10 days and then have a pretend wedding, so but anyway, so he is telling Shayna that she's his number one, and he's telling Natalie that she's his number one, and he's telling, so that's like, that's shitty. Don't be lying. Like, be open that you are torn between two women and you can't, you're trying to determine which one is the deeper affection, the long term, which one you can see yourself, or which one you want to see yourself with. And he's telling Natalie that she's number one in his book. Her name is on the front page in a heart or something like that. Which, like, you don't know if that's true. Don't believe him. And it's not like an indication of, like, romance. Like, I wrote your name down in a heart. Like, okay, so does, like, anyone could do that. I did that with Daniel Radcliffe when I was 12. When I'm not still in love with him, okay? And it would never have worked out between us, Daniel. I'm sorry. I was thinking he's leaning more towards Shayna because he kind of comes across as like a sort of person who like thinks he's all that. He said stuff about not wanting it to be based on looks or anything like that, but I don't know. He seems to have really gotten by on his looks for most of his life and seems to be okay with that. Judgmental. I'm being judgmental, but like that's the premise of the show, and he turns out to be a dick later, okay? So I'm telling you, it's okay to be mean about Shane, okay? Unless I got his name wrong. But I'm pretty sure he's Shane. So he is saying all this stuff to Natalie. Natalie comes back and she's like, so he says I'm number one, blah, blah, blah. And Shayna obviously overhears that. And then Shayna totally does something very manipulative. She goes right in to the box and says, so I heard you kind of proposed, basically. Which, like, A, she's misrepresenting what Natalie actually said, and I think that's deliberate. She's trying to make it seem to Shane like Natalie set it up like that, which is not the case. And she's also putting him on the back foot because she's coming in very aggressive. So like that's super manipulative. It's a shitty thing to do. And he's like, no, blah 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 blah. And I can't even remember what he said. Something he didn't properly answer the question, and then he moved on and was like, what are you wearing? And she was okay with that. So like she told him what she was wearing, and I think if she'd been genuinely pissed off, she wouldn't have told him, you know? So, but like, I didn't like the way either of them handled that situation. But he comes in another time into the pod, and he's like, so who am I talking to? And Natalie, you know, she tries to be a little flirty this time. She's like, oh no, you have to guess. But he thinks it's Shayna, and he doesn't say it straight away. So he's like, ah, yes, this is who I was hoping to get. And Natalie's like, you know, obviously thinks like, oh, yeah, he thinks it's me. And then he says, what are you wearing? And he's never said that to Natalie before, so she's obviously confused. She doesn't answer right away, and he's like, Shayna, what's going on? And she says, it's Natalie. And he's like, oh, fuck, I fucked up. I fucked up. You can see it on his face. He's like, I fucked up.
Oh, that's what I was hoping for. What are you wearing over there?
It's Natalie.
Of course.
And so she's upset. Naturally, she's upset because he's come in. He's just said, this is who I was wanting to get. So if Natalie was really his favorite, why would he say that to Shayna? Why is he doing this, like, what are you wearing flirty stuff with Shayna if he's been getting all, like, serious with Natalie? You know, he has been creating an environment where she thinks she's number one because he has been telling her that. So she's rightfully upset. And this, I am so upset. I leaned back in my chair and shook my bookcase. This butt face, all right? This fly-catching gape, bug-eyed mother flipper is like, you know, if you're upset, that's kind of stupid. Like, I don't understand it. Like, what? What? And he goes on to say, like, this is why we're here. Obviously, I'm dating other people. Obviously, I'm seeing other people. I didn't lead you on. I didn't lead you on. And the way he says it, he's like, it's crazy that you're feeling that way. It's insane. Like, he's telling her that her feelings are invalid. Normal people wouldn't feel upset like that. That's gaslighting, okay, babe? I know we throw around the term gaslighting a lot, but, okay, let me just list my credentials and why I get to say that this is gaslighting, okay? PTSD in therapy because of abusive relationship where he gaslit me. I have literally talked with my therapist about specific examples of gaslighting my partner did to me, and this turn of phrase was almost exactly like Shane is doing to Natalie right here. You can see it on his face. He is trying to make her feel like she's the bad guy.
Listen, if you think I'm a dick, I feel like that's kind of weird, no offense, but... Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh.
I'm just thinking.
Why?
This is not fair. It's not fair at all. Okay?
Can I just, like,
I'm
finish?
put in this position.
But God bless Natalie, she does not fall for it, okay? She's a smarter person than I was. She is more confident in herself. She does not buy it. She is upset with him, and she lets herself be upset with him, and it's over, okay? Good, because I was screaming at my phone like, girl, don't believe him! He's gaslighting you! I was so upset. I was making my breakfast like, what are you doing? So yeah, so that's why we're mean to Shane, okay? Shane's got abusive tendencies, okay? If he's gaslighting you this early on, if he's that manipulative that early on, run, okay? Shayna, run as well. He's shitty. Don't date him. Let him work on himself as a human being and become a better person, and maybe one day he can be in a relationship where he doesn't feel the need to emotionally manipulate and abuse, you know, the person he's dating. But currently, as he is, he's a butt. Don't date him, okay? You shouldn't even be on the show. So, clearly a little bit of a trigger for me, but you can see why. So that's also how the episode ends. The episode ends with this sort of like drama with Natalie coming in. She's like really upset. And she's like, okay, I'm not going to talk about it. Like, she doesn't want to be vulnerable with these strangers because all the men and all the women have to live together. Like, all the dudes are in a little flatmate situation and all the women are in a flatmate situation, which I also find weird because there's going to be situations like with Nick, Natalie, and Nick, Danielle, and other women, and Shane, Shayna, and Natalie, who, like, they're going to be interested in the same person, and it's awkward to put them all together. I mean, obviously that's what they want drama, they want that, but it's still, like, that's part of why I don't like reality TV, is like, you're purposely making this more difficult than it needs to be. And Shayna is listening in and she sees that it's gone not so well. And I don't know, I'm wondering whether she'll think, okay, so he's led Natalie on, he's mistreated her. Either she's going to think, cool, now's my chance, or she's going to think, actually, this is not the person I want to be with. I don't want to be with someone who'd do that to someone else. Hopefully, I mean, I hope she goes in that direction, but I feel like maybe she's going to go in the first direction, because the whole thing is set up to be like a competition. And Shane goes back to all the dudes and he's clearly like, I just want to leave. Oh, you know, as if it's not his fault, as if he's not the bad guy. And I just know he's going to represent it to all the other dudes, like, Natalie's in the wrong, Natalie's crazy. And like, oh, that makes me mad. It makes me mad. I mean, I guess I'll wait until I watch episode 2 to really, like, get mad about that, but I just know. So that's basically episode 1. That's basically it. You got a few other people here and there. Most of the episode was focused on the Daniel, Nick, Shayna, and Natalie situation, and we didn't really get to see that much of Jarrett, and I'm like waiting to be validated on him being a heartthrob, right? He's gotta be a heartthrob, right? He's gotta be a heartthrob. He's got a great personality and a sexy voice, okay? If he doesn't have like the rest of the women in the house, okay, we know there's like 4 women who aren't interested in him, but like there's still like 10 other women. I don't know how many people are even on this show. I don't even know. So many people were shown and they were all like dolled up to the nines because, again, no uggos. Love is blind, but only for the pretty people. I mean, there's a few women who were bigger, you know, a few overweight women. A youngish man with grey hair who was insecure about that, but still very attractive, still pretty attractive. I understand that you can be, you know, hot to trot, but if you're fat, people treat you badly, and that is definitely valid. Oh God, I'm editing this and I'm like, oh no. Okay, so what I meant to say instead, what I meant to say is that people treat people who are fat badly, and oftentimes you can be, you know, stunningly gorgeous, blah blah blah, all the other great things, but just because you are fat, people will treat you like you're unattractive and unworthy and disrespect you. And I think being insecure about that, feeling vulnerable around that area, and being very wary of romantic relationships because of that is valid. That's what I think is valid. If you are insecure and feeling vulnerable based on past experiences of fat phobia, then that is valid. You are valid, but you are also beautiful and amazing and worthy of love and respect. And a show like Love is Blind, where you're not immediately being judged on your fatness, might feel like something that's like really comforting. And I totally understand the perspective that those women are coming from. That's what I meant. Okay. Okay. That's what I meant. Oh God, that I'm so sorry that I didn't think properly before I spoke. That happens a lot, which is why I edit my videos. But there was not a single uggo, okay? So as one woman said, she was saying, you can tell where she thinks she's at, because she was saying, like, I feel like when you fall in love with someone's personality, you can be like a 7. And then she edited it to be like a 5.
You could be like a 7 or like even a 5. If I find them so funny and emotionally attractive and like they have such a good heart, like they become more physically attractive.
Whoa, you think a 7 is low? Clearly you think you're a 10. There's no way she doesn't think she's a 10. And I don't think of myself as a number because I'm a human being. So I don't get the whole numbering system. Obviously, if I were to apply the numbering system to myself, I'd be a 10 because, let's be real. You know, a lot of aggressive confidence comes from a deep insecurity.
Deep insecurity.
Love is patient. Love is kind. Love sometimes lets me put little hats on him. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like. And I hope to come out with more videos this year. I'm going to start a series. There he goes. Bye-bye. Happy 2022, and if you would like me to watch episode 2, I'm going to, but if you'd like me to make a video about it, let me know in the comments. Thanks. I would give you kisses, but this is very sticky lipstick, so.
Scale of 1 to 10, I'm a catch.